Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, August 1st. Over the next couple of days, we will have significant heat across the Great Basin through this weekend into the early part of next week, where temperatures will be over 100 degrees in most of the valleys across the Great Basin and over 112 over southern areas. We do have some heat advisories out and excessive heat warnings over parts of Idaho into central areas of the Great Basin and down south. We will also see some breezy winds today over far southern areas of the Great Basin, with wind gusts up to about 25 or 30 miles per hour and southwest winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour. A few isolated storms may occur again over parts of central Idaho and over eastern Utah today. Over the last 24 hours, we saw some thunderstorms over parts of eastern Utah and up into far northern part of central Idaho. These thunderstorms produced lighter amounts of precipitation and were on the isolated side, with most of the lightning to the east and north. Over the last 24 hours, we've had 12 new fires reported for just under 4,000 acres across the Great Basin, and you can see where some of our larger fires are located up across parts of Idaho, and then our team fires down south over parts of southern Nevada and the Arizona Strip. Over the last 7 days, we've seen precipitation tied to thunderstorm activity over the eastern half of the Great Basin especially, and then over parts of western Nevada as well. However, we've seen very dry conditions recently over the last couple of days. Looking at our current ERC conditions, we are seeing ERCs above the 80th to 90th percentile over the southern two-thirds of the Great Basin, and these ERCs will continue to climb over the next few days as we see very hot and dry conditions. Even up north across Idaho, we are now seeing some of the ERCs pushing the 80th percentile. Looking at some of our ERC charts, you can see in the south, ERCs are certainly hitting new records for the time of year and are well above normal just due to the dry conditions associated with the lack of monsoon moisture. Further north, we're also seeing ERCs climb rapidly again, approaching record highs over parts of northern Utah into parts of northern Nevada. The 10-hour fuel moisture is showing obviously very dry conditions with the dry weather we've seen across the Great Basin and the lowest conditions across Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and western Utah. The satellite image from this morning shows high pressure still dominating the Four Corners area, keeping that moisture well to our south with very dry conditions over the rest of the region. Looking at the weather pattern for later today, again, that strong high pressure will keep very dry conditions and very hot temperatures across the Great Basin, and so there's no significant fire potential high risk. However, we will see that very hot weather showing record temperatures or near record highs for southern parts of the Great Basin into northern Nevada, southern Idaho, and northern Utah. Relative humidity will remain in the single digits over much of the Great Basin and even the low teens in the far north. Wind gusts again will be breezy over southern areas, possibly impacting our two large fires over the southern area, with gusts generally between about 25 and 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, lighter winds further north. On Sunday, similar conditions, very hot and dry conditions, no high risk, but again, the heat will be something to certainly watch with the very low daytime relative humidity and poor overnight recoveries. So again, low single-digit relative humidities on Sunday. Wind conditions should start to decrease over southern Nevada and southwest Utah, but still somewhat breezy over the Arizona Strip. Also, we'll see winds pick up a little bit along the Sierra Front on Sunday, with gusts generally between about 25 and 30 miles per hour in the afternoon, but again, very dry and hot conditions across the basin. As we move into Monday, that high pressure starts to flatten out a little bit, so we may see a slight decrease in temperatures in the far north, but still above normal for the time of year. And again, no high risk issued, just hot and dry conditions. Looking at the relative humidity, similar conditions, single digits over the southern two-thirds of the region and around 15% further north. We'll also see some winds pick up over parts of the Snake River Plain up in Idaho on Monday. So again, gusts about 25 to 30 miles per hour, but very dry conditions and just a little bit breezier. Forecast amounts of precipitation, no significant precipitation expected across the basin, just some spotty areas of precipitation where we might see some isolated thunderstorms today. Moving into next week, we have an area of low pressure moving in off the west coast, so we will see temperatures return to near or just above normal as opposed to the 10 degrees above normal we'll be seeing here over the weekend. We may see winds start to pick up, but still Tuesday looks like a fairly benign day with no high risk. As we move into Wednesday, we may see some breezier winds, especially over southern areas as that area of low pressure moves in. Also, we might start to see some thunderstorm activity further north up across Idaho. We don't have any high risk at the present time, but we will be watching those thunderstorms as we get closer to Wednesday, especially after hot and dry conditions. If we do see a return of drier lightning, that could be problematic for our northern areas. We also might start to see some thunderstorm activity over parts of Utah as we move towards the middle of the week as well. So we will keep an eye on this, keep an eye on any breezy conditions or a return of lightning after this very hot and dry period. On Friday, thunderstorm activity possibly over eastern and northern areas of the Great Basin. Again, right now things are looking fairly isolated initially, but we could see some greater coverage from mid to late week. And right now moisture is looking relatively low, so we will be keeping an eye on those conditions. The 7-day total precip, you can see where those thunderstorms might start to develop as we move closer to the middle to late portion of next week. And again, right now looking at lighter precipitation, so we will be watching that for an increase in fire potential. The 8 to 14-day outlook, this takes us from August 8th through the 14th. So by the middle of the month, we may start to see some cooler weather move in, but this will probably be areas of low pressure bringing breezy winds. So we'll also continue to see those dry conditions. Right now, just no real sign of significant moisture moving into the Great Basin. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.